Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. This is something I've been working on for a couple months now, and this is coming up on the 10 to 12 month ownership of the 180 to 600, and I just want to go over, you know, long-term uses of it and how it's panned out for me. So I just want to say right out of the gate how nicely this thing balances on the Z9. I mean, look at this. It's like perfectly flat with the black rapid strap in the first hole of the lens foot, and you still have plenty of space to carry it around whenever you're walking. I usually like hold on to it whenever I'm walking. So maybe if you also had a lighter camera, the lens would tip up a little bit while you're carrying it, but it's just so nice that it's nice and flat. And another thing I really appreciate on this lens compared to my old Sigma 150 to 600 on the adapter, or really just on the F-mount camera in general, is the options here. The autofocus and manual focus and the zoom limiter. There's only two switches on the outside. Since they're recessed, you're not really going to be hitting that on your hips as you walk. So as you walk, you know, the camera sways back and forth, and the loops for my belt and everything would always hit the switches and move them around. So you go put the camera back up to your face, go take a picture, and suddenly you know, you're not focusing to infinity, or it's in manual focus and you can't figure out what's going on for a few seconds. So that's like one of my favorites right there. Now, I do not use the tripod foot itself on a tripod, but if you want, you can loosen it a little bit and you can rotate it around on the lens. Pretty nice. So if you're using this on a tripod with just a lens foot, you can do that. But myself, I use a lens rail system, so it's not really something I worry about too much. Now, I'll see a lot of people online complaining about like I don't know, maybe I just got a good copy, I don't know, about the lens foot, like moving around or not being tight, or I honestly don't understand their complaints. I don't know, mine's been fine. I haven't touched it in the 10 months I've owned it. And then whenever I go to mount this on my fluid head for video, I have a thing on the back that clips on to the tripod head, and a little Y thing that holds the camera like this, so there isn't any extra weight on the lens mount. And plus, if you're dealing with over 1,000 millimeters, 1,200 millimeters, put a teleconverter on here, you're even further out. It helps with the micro vibrations from the wind, from panning, anything like that. Now, as I mentioned, this does take a teleconverter. I do have a 1.4 teleconverter. Slap it in here between the camera and the lens, and it works good. But I mostly took it off just so that I could take it to the zoo and some other places where, I mean, yeah, I don't need 1,200 millimeters of range, so not a huge deal on that. And if you're interested in checking out about teleconverters, how it works on the lens and the camera, I have another video about that. You're welcome to check out after this. I also have a sharpness and comparison video between the Sigma 150 to 600 Contemporary and the 180 to 600. You're welcome to check that as well. When it comes to the programmable button on the lens, so you have 4 around the lens. That way, no matter which way you're shooting, you have access to the button. It functions as one button. You don't actually have 4 buttons. But for myself, I have changed that to program for 3D focusing. So usually if I'm on auto area or single point, dynamic, something like that, and you're up here and like you can't really get a bead on what you want because there's like maybe twigs or other stuff in the way, you can kind of use the 3D area as like a single point, and then it'll track onto the animal or subject that you want. And as soon as you let go of the button, it goes back into whatever autofocus system you were using beforehand. And at the start of the video, I mentioned I have the black rapid strap. I've had this strap 6 years now, same strap for 6 years. Literally, it has been working like a champ. I have had it on the 150 to 600, now the 180 to 600. I use it on the camera body for macro, literally just walking around town, any kind of street photography. I don't know, it's my go-to strap. I'm pretty sure the strap that came with the camera or any of my cameras is probably still in the box somewhere. Maybe I threw it away. Maybe I sold it on eBay. I don't know, but don't use them, have no use for them. I think they're useless. So another great thing about this lens and the camera and some other cameras, I'll put them up there in a list, is it has Syncro VR when you put them together, so that you can get 5.5 stops of stabilization handheld for photo or video. And honestly, it makes video so much easier. Panning is so much easier. Aviation, wildlife, whatever, makes it so much easier. Yeah, after having this for 10 months, I don't really know what would make the lens better, especially for the price. It's like $1,700 new. Like, That's crazy. It's crazy talk. And if you want something in the 600 range that's better, you're going to be spending like 15 grand. And just as a little fun trip, I used this little 10-month review update to go to the Pittsburgh Zoo. So here we'll run through some pictures and video from the EVF, from the point of view of the camera, the whole 9 yards, and we'll just throw it in there. And if you want to skip through this, there'll be a little timeline bar at the bottom.
1, 2, 3, 4. Lunch dates and coffee breaks, Tuesdays and random days. It's how we spend the worst days of our lives. Your sister doesn't like me much. Your father thinks that I'm a nut. Your son and daughter just don't wanna choose. Think it's time to get away and see. There's a big old world and it's calling you and me. Seattle's cold and I don't like New Orleans. There's a place I know would fit for you and me. Let's go to Carolina. We could start a new life. Already my best friend. Don't you be my new wife? I don't like living. You don't have much to trust in. You're scared to love again. I don't wanna miss a blessing. In Carolina, Carolina. The weather's nice and the leaves still turn. We can settle down and the kids can learn that home isn't a place but a feeling. There's American pride and southern charm, Sunday school and lots of arms. We can spend the rest of our lives. Let's go to Carolina. We could start a new life. You're already my best friend. Don't you be my new wife? I don't like living. You don't have much to trust in. You're scared to love again. I don't wanna miss a blessing. In Carolina, Carolina, Carolina. Carolina. Truthfully, I don't care.
But as you can see from the zoo, it's quite the overkill setup for it, but it was very enjoyable and I had a good time. And I also really like seeing younger people, especially kids, go to the zoo and see wildlife and nature up close and personal. I don't know, I remember doing it as a kid and I still have those memories with me, so really appreciate seeing everybody out, seeing all the animals and stuff at the zoo. So that's pretty much the end of it. I have no negatives on this lens. It's like my saving grace. It's my favorite lens to use, and I don't really think that's going to change anytime soon. So until next time, I'll see you out there. Best of luck.